This is the best of the Cool Nerd Weed Show. I was so high when this first aired, I don't even remember The Cool Nerd Weed Show on Adobe Radio.
It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show Super Flashback. It's the Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles highlights. I am Sasha, and this is the Cool Nerd Weed Show on Adobe Radio. And we are off for the 4th, but we don't want to not get frisky, you feels. So we put together a really fun show for you. We do the Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles show every so often. We like to remind you that using cannabis in the bedroom is wonderful and necessary, and really, really, really enhances everything. And we also wanted to talk about the history of why and how and the body chemistry and all that good jazzercise. So we'll be doing that, and we compiled a little bit of like the most entertaining parts. But like, I just love listening back to the earlier shows because we're so chipper and young and fresh faced. And we did do our first Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles show very early on in the Cool Nerd Weed Show career, and it's just funny to hear us just giggle through the episode. It's like the right amount of awkward and really good info too. Really cool history there. So we're going to start out with an earlier show. We're going to talk about the history of cannabis and sex, and then we're going to give you some strain advice and, you know, get our way through it. We're going to be, you know, we're going to be positive today. We're going to be sex positive today and roll with the good times. So I hope you rolled up a fat sesh and you put the kids to bed because it will be a little bit blue. Without any further ado, here is Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles Super Flashback. No, for realsies, it's going to be super blue because it's the sexy show.
Yeah, rated R. This is a warning.
It is. Put your kids to bed.
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
Hide your kids, because we getting sexy up in her.
Actually, your wife can stay. Hide your kids.
You know what? We promote that. Bring your homies, bring your partners,
Yeah.
This is going to be a good experience for the grown-ups. The kids, you go to bed and have sweet dreams. Don't think about the world today. But we want to talk about weed and sex, so we're going to do that this show. It's going to get pretty hot because we are two hot motherfuckers and it can only get steamy.
You know, cannabis has been around forever.
It has. It sure has.
Millions and millions of years, and it's been used as an aphrodisiac forever and ever and ever. Some of the first people, dating back to 700 AD in India, the Hindu people, they knew how to get down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was, in traditional Hindu culture, it was a multifaceted medication. Most notable, its use was tantric sex and yoga practices.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, that goes hand in hand. There's flexibility involved.
Yeah, you know, you got to stretch.
Oh, and it's such a nice group activity.
Yeah. Hey, they really know how to get down.
They really do.
In 700 AD in India.
Inhibition.
Combining yoga and sex and cannabis can lead to a spiritual awakening.
Wow. Well, it can.
I agree.
I feel like I've had a couple of those awakenings in my day.
And, you know, you wake up and... I don't know. We'll get to that later.
You pop right out.
You pop right out.
And you're feeling free.
You know, cannabis.
I've been blushing since the show started. Just FYI, there's a vein popping out of my forehead.
Cannabis has been part of the tantric sex experience, and traditionally participants would consume either a bang, cannabis leaf and flower combined with an edible ball, or a victory drink called it's called Victory. It's called
I did it!
Vijaya.
Oh, well, that sounds sexy.
It does. And it's a cannabis milkshake made from bang, almonds, pepper, cardamom, poppies, and other spices.
That sounds freaking wonderful.
They said you should consume this milkshake 90 minutes before your tantric ritual of climax.
Sure.
Allowing you to feel the full effects of the drink. So, yeah, as we always say, you allow at least an hour.
Hydrate.
Please. Before you do any tantric sex. But, it's been going on since 700 AD.
Well, good.
Moving right along
Sure.
Eastern European cultures.
Okay.
So it kind of migrated a little bit. The people brought the plant with them, and cannabis played a role in Eastern European wedding nights. A Polish anthropologist, Sula Beignet, stated that a mixture of lamb's fat and nasha, or hemp, was widely believed that the post-Soviet era Russian brides to reduce pain on their wedding nights.
Oh, well, that's lovely.
That was nice of them.
That's so nice. Caring about ladies' health, which, P.S., goes hand in hand. Sexual health for women and cannabis is very important. And we'll go into that more as the show goes on. Proceed.
So, Eastern European men regarded the cannabis-infused dish called the happy porridge to be a strong aphrodisiac.
I like that.
Happy porridge.
I'm going to call it that from now on. I'm going to call a lot of things that from now on. Oh, man.
Oh, let's see here. Nordic, moving north to northern Europe, the Vikings brought the weed and its sex ideology as well. A Norse mythological goddess called Fire,
Sexy.
Thera, was associated with sowing hemp and harvest. She often had exotic rituals held in her honor. And this was obviously in the pre-Christian days of Scandinavia, which the Scandinavians are, they're pretty pagan, pretty loose, pretty sexy.
They get down for sure. Oh yeah, they definitely do.
And they widely believe that cannabis had love-generating powers. And
it does.
Anybody that consumed the flower had the joy and seduction power. So, and Freya kind of sounds like my kind of goddess,
right? I dig her. I'm down. And she was the Scandinavian one?
She was the Scandinavian goddess of harvest and love and sex and all that good stuff.
This is such a lovely little lesson.
And it brings us to modern times where we have maybe the rituals aren't quite as paganistic.
No, yeah, they're not as dramatic.
Well, no, but
I mean, I don't know about you. My shit gets pretty pagan.
Sometimes I'll break out the lamb's fat and then really get down.
For sure. Every now and then, some sacrificing here and there in the name of Fire. Well, Fire, is that her name?
Fire.
That is lovely. That's beautiful, and I think a lot of it also goes with like open-mindedness too, because if you have some of that,
free your mind.
Yeah, the rest will follow.
Your ass will follow.
And it will. No, that's lovely, and I think a lot of it too, which is kind of known, is that obviously when you consume marijuana, your inhibitions are lowered. You definitely become more vulnerable. You get giggles. That just immediately you're laughing at dumb shit, which you wouldn't normally laugh at. That definitely goes hand in hand with open-mindedness and wanting to explore things that you don't usually explore during the bedroom time. And that excites me about cannabis. I feel like it's a lot, because a lot of women too, I think sexual health is not really talkked about a lot.
No, it's not. It's really important. It's overall your overall well-being and your mental health, your
wellness,
it's and part of, your whole self.
Yeah, and the plant. Obviously, we've talked about the medicinal benefits everywhere else, but your sexual health is really high up there with the other, and the reason why, which we'll go more into, as I said, is, I mean, there's different ingredients that we'll talk about, but it's like we talked about last week, the fucking CB1 receptor that's in our brains.
It's in your brain.
That is the thing that you want to be awakened, because that's the part of your brain that likes to get a friggy.
You want that CB1 switched on 11
for EVs level 100, because that will help you. That will help your mind open. That will help you feel physically able and ready, and like you don't want to hold back anymore. And as we've noted, it's not even, there's no stigma. There's zero stigma attached to cannabis and sex together. It's been happening forever.
since documented from 700 AD. So before, who knows what happened before then?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably got real crazy. Shit that hasn't even been written down.
Hi. Lights. From the Cool Nerd Weed Show. Adobe Radio.
The erotic history.
The erotic history of cannabis.
So this is...
Where should we start? With the Mesopotamians?
Well, I mean, those
like
the first people
31
who
BC.
Sure.
It's like 2,000, almost 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, it was like in the very beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Civilization.
Well, the Mesopotamians, they understood the effects of cannabis on female sexual behavior. They did. And they used various plants to feel different effects. Sometimes they added some poisons from the belladonna and, add a little cannabis.
So they used to do like rituals.
They did a lot of rituals to induce the state of erotic fantasy and frenzied activity.
There was a lot of that back then. There's a lot of public
I said it treated
intercourse.
Treated demon infected illnesses.
Well, I don't know about that.
That was 3,000 years ago. They just wanted to have
just wanted to have public
orgies.
They wanted to fuck publicly,
which is fine. It's a different time.
Man,
there's probably less people.
I don't know why
there's probably less people in the world, and you can get away with that sort of thing. So
you can't anymore.
Let's fast forward to the Egyptians.
Okay.
Now this is interesting. There's evidence that the ancient Egyptian women used a mix of cannabis mixed with honey to relieve cramps and the birth of childbirth pains.
So that's like a big part, just to interject some, whatever. That's like a big part of cannabis and sex, is, as I hack and make this really sexy, is that like female organs, like we, sometimes need a little extra care, and cannabis does help during like the menstrual times, and it does help calm down the pains and the cramps, especially during the lady times. So it all ties together.
Yes.
Like, it not only makes you feel better, but it makes you feel good.
The ancient Egyptian ladies would rub the cannabis concoction into their vaginas. And the men would use the hemp seeds because they believed that it would make them more fertile.
Okay.
So, little protein for the men.
Can't hurt.
Eat those hemp seeds.
Yeah.
Good for the man parts.
Yeah, for sure.
Seems like a good time in ancient Egypt.
It does.
For some people.
Yes, it does. It does. I think plant life, sexual behavior around plant life was encouraged back then.
For sure.
Ritualistic stuff, I guess.
A lot of sex rituals happening back then, including the Romans. This one I find fascinating.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And they believe that it actually, that the Greeks may have invented this particular program.
Okay.
They believe cannabis helped sexual intercourse, and there's some evidence of that. It says Romans believed in the Greek gods of the old penis.
They sure did. How do you pronounce it? Priapus. That's how it was.
Priapus.
If any Greek scholars would like to tell us what the Greek god of the erect penis is. They did have a god for everything. Those Grecians.
Yeah. So they made this cannabis. They consumed this cannabis elixir. So that's, what is it? Saticron.
Okay.
Saticron. It was a mixture of cannabis, alcohol, ivy, and snake venom.
Wow.
And the goal was to go under a like hallucinogenic haze. And this was administered by a priest.
Okay.
Who would tie the hands and feet of the man and insert a dildo covered in this elixir rectally. I guess that's where we would put him. In a man.
Well, that makes sense.
His mouth. Yeah, I mean, so this makes a lot of sense.
That's where you'd put it today, for sure.
Exactly. So they were onto this during the Roman and Greek.
Well, yeah, they already knew that this was how to get men to like be even like comfortable with all of that, because like then they would like get them to climax, like they would with the cannabis.
Yeah, it was like
the elixir. What a wonderful time.
This was the very first evidence of the cannabis suppository.
It also says though that they like used it to make people impotent.
Oh, what?
That's the next paragraph.
Oh no.
When eaten in excess.
Oh, in excess. Well,
I mean, we've talked about that. There's debate. Like, if you eat too much weed, you fall asleep. Like, that's just the end of it. But I don't think, like, you don't get whiskey dick. Like, you.
No, your whole.
Oh, by the way, put the kids to sleep if you haven't yet. Like, what is? I mean, please. 20 minutes into the show.
Rated R. This is a warning.
Yeah, we'll put well, we always do have the explicit warning. Okay, yeah, but you don't get whiskey dick like you do with whiskey. But I could see, but you could fall asleep.
I would say you're more in danger of falling asleep than losing your erection. Because
unless you're like,
I wake up with an erection.
Doesn't
and go to sleep with one.
So, but. If you get too high, do you ever feel like you're like, I'm too high? Okay.
Never. I'm like,
fair enough.
I'm like, get over here. We're going again. I'm too high.
I'm too high. More.
Again.
Yeah, I've never, for girls, it's not like that. Truly, like when I was younger, it was like very much the opposite. Like smoking would really do the trick for me. Any sort of thing. It works for a lot of people. And it goes back to these Roman times and Egyptian and Indian.
Oh yeah, the Indians, they invented tantric sex.
Well, yeah, they know a thing or two.
They wrote the Kama Sutra.
Yes.
The book of sexual positions, Vedic positions, and they were really into the cannabis as well. Cannabis was native to India. They had hemp seeds.
For sure.
What other? Though they made how do you say it? Is it bang bars? That was.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Made the elixir with cannabis.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly is in there. There's probably some herbs, maybe a little alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta like bind it with something.
And they would take this and practice sex and practice yoga and just
fucking go at it.
Be out there and free and loving life.
Yes. Oh, the Vikings. Tell me about them.
The Vikings. What did the Vikings do?
Tell me.
Oh, well, okay. The Vikings.
I love a Viking.
The Vikings used cannabis and.
I love a big old. I love both. I love all genders of Viking. Myself.
I think I dated a Viking.
I think you did too. I think you have. I think that's one of your types. Honestly,
Viking.
You do love. We both love a Viking very much, very much. So tell me about their cannabis and sex usage.
Let's see. What did they do?
Bloodthirsty savages. That's what it's calling them. That's not my words. It's his website's word.
Well, the priestess Freya, the Norse god of love.
Sure.
Suggested that women use cannabis seeds during ritual worship. And it seems that the Vikings held a lot of erotic ceremonies in honor of this Greek god of sex.
Some more ceremonies.
It was all about the ceremonies. What were they making? Okay, so rituals in the hemp fields. They'd roll around, unmarried girls rolling around naked in the hemp fields. This sounds like
rolling around.
This sounds like I want to go back to the Viking times. And next, they would weave these leaves from the hemp plants into wreaths and throw them around trees. And what the hell was it? Well, at a certain time when they fell off, the girls would look for a husband after rolling around in the hemp fields, getting all those trichomes in the nicks and crannies.
So did they roll around because they smoked weed, or did they roll around because they were just like they wanted to roll around, and then the weed got into them and they were like, oh shit, I want to fuck? Or were they like, oh, I smoked this crazy weed, I want to roll around and I want to fuck also?
I think
I don't know why the sequence matters to me, but it does.
I think it was just the part of the harvest festival. Roll around, and it's always fun to be naked if you're rolling around in anything.
Fair enough.
Especially the hemp fields. Those are some of I've seen a lot of those adult pictures in the fields of Northern California. I think you can put a whole
people rolling around.
I don't know if they're rolling around. I don't know how sanitary that would be, because a lot of them are just like tasteful nudes in front of plants. But if there's you have a lot of naked women rolling around in your harvest, you got to keep that for personal use.
So other cultures use cannabis as
the Ugandans, they used it for a little. They thought it helped with erectile dysfunction.
Okay. Well, I feel like they put back in the day they put cannabis in everything.
It was in everything.
Yeah.
It was all your basic medicines.
Yeah.
Or
somehow that
cannabis based, alcohol based, opium based.
Yeah, for sure.
Add a little snake venom, maybe a little. What else would they add? They added a little snake venom and maybe put on a dildo.
Yeah, man.
Administer it however you wish. Strains and types of cannabis for your best sex life.
Sweet.
The best of the Cool Nerd Weed Show. Wait, this is a repeat? I don't remember hearing this one before. Adobe Radio.
And we are back. Sickles, I am Sasha, and you are listening to the Cool Nerd Weed Show, Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles highlights. This is our super flashback show. We put together a really fun, sexy show for you. We do the Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles episodes every so often. They're fun. It's so fun to talk about. There's always something new to discover, and it's definitely very cool to incorporate cannabis into your sexual routine. And we get real open, we talk real openly, and we trust each other. This is a safe space. You better believe the Cool Nerd Weed Show is a safe space. So we have some strains for you. We're going to talk about what strains can really work for you, and this is from local stories. This is from word of mouth. This is from some scientific reasons. There's all sorts of info for you here. So this is where you're going to want to take a pen and pencil. So if you're taking a bath, then just make sure you have a dry space. You feels? Without any further ado, it's Cannabis, Sex, and Giggles flashback highlights.
This comes to us from a cannabis sex consultant.
Oh, I want to be
Ashley Menta.
I want to be a cannabis.
We're going to have her on soon.
Could we?
We can.
And then I want her to teach me how to get that job.
Anyway, she came up with this list, and I agree. I agree with this.
You do?
I
can confirm.
I can confirm. Okay. There's 5 cannabis strains for 5 specific types of sex.
Right. Okay.
So,
yes. The first time I remember I was putting us in scenarios. Okay. So first strain.
For that solo mission.
Yes. Just as important.
Just as important as any other mission.
If not more important.
Self-care, self-love.
It's got to start with yourself.
It's okay.
If you're not comfortable with yourself, if you can't make yourself feel good, how are you going to do it for someone else? You tell me how. There's no way.
Well, if you're by yourself and you've got some Girl Scout cookie, that's the strain for exploring.
So that's the solo strain.
That's the solo strain.
Is it that Durban in there?
Or? I think it's the Durban for that sativa, creative, euphoric. Get yourself loosened up.
But you still can feel your body is like kind of, because it has that body high too.
It's that Durban.
That Durban gets you every time. Yeah.
Every time.
So Girl Scout cookies is good for the solo mish.
Yeah. And if you want a nice, slow, passionate, then bubblegum kush.
Okay.
Relax. It's sweet. Relax that whole body. Slow it down.
So this is like, we've just had dinner, where we've had wine, we're kind of back at the place, some like slow jams are playing.
Got the Barry White on.
Everything's covered in velvet, and
I roll up a huge cone of bubblegum kush.
It's nice and sweet. It's like dessert. We're gonna get down.
We're gonna make this happen all night.
It's gonna be sweet and slow, and still a little up because it keeps you going. So that is your slow, passionate lovin's is bubblegum kush.
Bubblegum kush. Now for one of my old favorites, that frenzied, lustful, dirty, in the back of a car in a parking lot at a bus stop.
Yes.
Sour diesel.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is that New York fucking subway sex right there. This is fucking.
You have a blunt of sour diesel.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is on.
Oh yeah, Marcy me. That is for damn sure. That talk about keep you going. That shit will keep you going. And yes, that is. So that is like your animal shit, huh? Right?
Yeah, going and don't stop.
So this is that before we even get out the house shit. This is I did my makeup for nothing. Because now I got to redo it, and now we have to go have dinner and think about what we just did and how we're going to do it again in the car, and then again when we get home. That's your sour diesel.
That's your sour diesel.
You roll yourself 2 joints for that.
I would always be prepared.
Always have another one. A, B, P. Always have another one. And you know what? Roll it up for the middle in case you get a little tired. The sour D just gasses you right up.
That's right. It's okay to take a break and get some water.
Sometimes you get cramps.
Yeah. Stretch out a little.
Stay hydrated.
And keep going.
It is our motto. So sour D, animal fucking, cool.
Let's see. For the morning sex, wake up.
Yes.
Awake and bake.
Yes.
Ashley's recommending Harlequin.
Interesting. I like that style, actually.
I like it too. Like a little low THC, nice CBD. You're going to be relaxed.
Yes.
Nice little buzz. Maybe you have a 9-to-5 job and you want to smoke a little and get down in a little morning.
Maybe you want a little bit of morning fuzz to get through the day. It makes sense. I do.
I wake up every morning. And I'm
ready to fuck.
Ready to go.
Sorry, put your children to bed if they're not in bed already. Yes, as do I, good friend. As do I. And you know what? This actually, Harlequin's probably a great strain because, you wake up in the morning, you're a little uptight. You maybe got a morning meeting. Maybe it's just you don't feel like going to work. You smoke some Harlequin, roll that up for me. Maybe put it in the nightstand bong that I know I have.
Perfect.
And smoke a little bit with me, spoon me.
See where it goes.
Nice, easy morning delight. I like that. That's a really good idea. That CBD will just kind of help all the anxiety go away. And then it's off to the races.
So, start your day, little Harlequin.
Nice. So that's morning.
That's sex. Your morning sex time.
I like it. I really like that. I'm going to try that.
Now, last but not least.
Certainly.
If you want just straight up creative, kinky, put the mask on.
Ooh, yeah.
Tie me up, tie me down.
I do want
sort of sex.
Yes, I would like that.
Then Jilly Bean.
Really?
Jelly bean is your answer.
Tell me more things.
Let's see. Highly creative, uplifting, euphoric, which makes it easier for you to incorporate new things.
So creative. So that's
very
like
creative.
The
You want
sex
to get
shop.
creative.
That's like the sex shop strain.
Yeah.
Like you smoke a little of that.
We're gonna try out some
To
new.
get freaky.
We're gonna try out something new that I got from the pleasure chest.
Yes, that. Ooh, so that's like your adventure strain. Yeah, so maybe you try some things you haven't tried before. Maybe you put some feathers in the sex. Maybe you put some handcuffs. I don't know. I don't know what you're into.
Whatever. Just get creative.
Just explore it with your jelly bean. I feel like you smoke some of that and like sour diesel.
And sour diesel, like
and
mix a
just
little.
Over.
Forget it. You
won't
might
see me for a week.
You may even create a new sex act.
That
if it's possible.
You will go down in history. With these mixtures of strains, which aren't like exotic strains, by the way.
No, you can find just about all these strains in your local dispensary if I was running it.
Yes, and you should be. You should be running everybody's local dispensary, and that really is the core of the whole shebang. Is that these are very accessible strains. So if you haven't tried pairing cannabis with sex yet, please do. Please don't be afraid.
There's 5 strains you can start with.
5 really solid, easy to find strains.
You can go from there.
Yeah. So like. There are things that we know the body reacts to, like aphrodisiacs, and you know they always tell you to eat chocolate. It's funny. It's funny how these things really do work, and like you don't even realize it, and you're like, oh shit, like you know, like
oysters.
Yeah. All those sorts of things. So in combination, you know, with those things, that you know, weed probably works better. But there's also there's also strains that you can try to seek out when you would like to enhance your sexual experience.
Some of our favorite strains.
Yeah, ones that surprise we already like.
If you want to boost your libido, Do-si-do is a classic strain. And it says whether you are on a solo mission or whether you are have a partner, Do-si-do is known both for euphoria and relaxation. It's this is one of our favorites. It's a Girl Scout cookie with Face Off OG. Providing, relaxation, encourage you to unwind.
Wedding cake. Well, isn't that one we're smoking?
Yeah, it's
we're smoking wedding cake, but
wedding cake, but it is a cross.
What's the wedding? What's the cross?
It's wedding cake and grape. I actually pulled it up. It's like grape pie.
Interesting.
And it's still got that little fueliness, and it's got like that Durbany.
It does. It really does. It's really good. I'm enjoying that quite a bit. I love wedding cake, and I do love Do-si-do. You know, those cookies. You're always gonna find them for us. Yeah. So that'll get you going. That'll rev you up.
Next,
but they're indica dominant, so they'll be like chilling. Let's like having a nice glass of wine, get you all lubricated.
Yeah. We got Granddaddy Purple is next on the list.
Oh.
Long-lasting, heavy indica strain. And they're calling Granddaddy Purple or Green Viagra.
Really?
Green Viagra. I never heard of that. But I like it. I like it. It's nature's Viagra. Known for a dreamy buzz. Some people purport that it puts them in the mood. But, I get this question a lot. What's gonna put my man in the mood? What's gonna help my lady
because it's
unwind?
like there's a lot of like. I feel like there is a lot of stuff for women though. Like it's like for cannabis and women.
Oh yeah.
But for dudes. So Granddaddy Purple, huh?
Granddaddy Purple.
Interesting.
It's
is there a reason? Is there a terpene that is?
They were saying in another article that it's the like the lemonol or lemonine, and lemony flavored strains would sort of tickle your brain to enhance your sexual pleasure. So one of the ones that I always recommend, so I actually had a partner that loved sour diesel. Always had to smoke the sour diesel. And that one's high sativa dominant strain. I feel like it's always the perfect kind of combination.
I love sour diesel.
I love a good sour diesel.
Yeah, I guess a good sour diesel can get me going.
It's apparently sour diesel makes you like you heighten your sense of feeling and touch.
Cool.
And you enjoy being touched after smoking some fat blunt of some sour diesel.
Yes, it usually does work for me, honestly. I mean, yeah, it does. There's been a lot of nights of fun in my life.
On the diesel.
On the D's. On the sour D's nuts. It's true. I find this interesting, the anxiety ones, because there is some anxiety. I mean, a lot of anxiety around sex and having it. And, we all need to just get, like, the number one thing when it comes to a sexual experience is to be on the same page and to be on the same vibe and to be relaxed.
For sure. Your mental state of mind.
Yeah. And weed really does help level everything out and be on the same page. And I like that, they're studying terpene levels of different strains to treat anxiety. I think that's fucking amazing. So, I guess Bubba Kush.
It's another one of our favorites.
We do. We love Bubba. We fucking love Bubba. Skywalker OG. Fucking love Skywalker all day.
Just been smoking the classic OG.
All day. Yeah.
Today.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Not now, but you know what I mean. It's just a saying. Blueberry lamb's bread. Another blueberry situation. And kosher kush. So it looks like kush is your ticket to Chilltown.
Oh yeah, always.
Stop to Sexy Town. Just one stop away.
One stop away. Come on and ride
Some people could just take the express train to Sexy Town, but some people need help. I sure do. There's a lot of anxieties, a lot of different anxieties. And
a slower ride. You just need a slower ride to Sexy Town.
You just need a stop at Chilltown. Say, what's up? Smoke some kush. Get me that sour D's. I'm on my way to Sexy Town. Here I am.
Ready to party.
Ready to stay the night. Hotel Sexy Town. Anyone more else? There's pain. There's one for pain.
If you're worried about pain during sex.
Another me thing, very much. I tried this. I do experience pain during sex. It fucking sucks having female parts. I don't care who you are. It sucks. Having female parts sucks. I mean, it's a blessing, I guess, to have healthy parts. But you experience pain. I experience pain. And it's not fun. So once, I think it was Foria. Why can't I remember how to pronounce it? Foria?
I think it's Foria.
Okay.
Foria.
Yeah. I had one of those. It was just like, I think it was like one of their lube things. And I used it. We used it. And I did not experience pain. And it was this time. And it did enhance it. But there are things to try that actually will for sure help if you experience pain. And that does also contribute to anxiety as well, is pain surrounding sex. So this is good news that there are options that you can try. You want to look for things that have high beta caryophyllene and humulene,
yeah, myrcene.
Yeah, myrcene's always a classic.
Caryophyllene.
Yeah, so they're saying Skittles.
Oh yeah,
there's no shortage of those.
Skittles is in everything now, so you should be able to find something with Skittles. If you can't find just Skittles, there's a Skittles cross. There's probably 10 Skittles crosses for you. Other ones, G13. Haven't seen G13 in a long time, but that's a very potent indica. Catatonic. If you want like a high CBD strain, low THC, that'll relax the body.
Oh, for sure. I mean, CBD. Another good way to get yourself in the mood for anybody is take a CBD bath. That'll get you good.
Oh, the CBD bath bomb. Yeah.
Smoke a fucking high fucking
A little Harlequin.
beta carotene weed. Get yourself a bath bomb, a CBD bath bomb. Lay in that shit. And you'll be
Jello.
on the
Jello.
express fucking train to Sexy Town with no fear. Only getting whatever it takes. I don't want to become like a sex line. I don't want to get an X rating on iTunes. That's not a thing.
What if you want to try something new? Like you want to experiment.
Experiment Kama Sutra.
Yeah, you've got your Kama Sutra book on Amazon, and then you're like to your partner, you're like, I want to try pages 22, 24, 27, and 35. So yeah, it's some of the same strains, but potential experimental. Try something new. Train wreck.
I like train wreck. I do. So train wreck is sativa dominant. So it's kind of like, it has you thinking.
Yeah.
Has your mind going.
These strains
Getting creative.
They'll lower your inhibitions.
Yeah.
Boost the old confidence.
Maybe go to a strip club together.
Yeah.
Or something.
That sounds great.
Just a suggestion.
So,
You don't have to.
I've got to roll a blunt at train wreck and go hit the gentleman's club.
I love strip clubs.
Yeah, it's a good time.
You should be smoking a sativa.
Yes. It's suggested.
Yes. Atomic Northern Lights. I love Northern Lights.
I love a Northern Lights too.
Yeah, I always have. It's
coming. It's making a comeback.
Is it?
And it's mixed in with some other strains, but it's still there. The essence of Northern Lights is still there. It's delicious.
Yes.
Blue Dream.
Whatever. I mean, people like Blue Dream. I know. Do people still ask for it in the weed dispensaries?
When we have it, it always goes, and somebody always comes in and they love it and they want it. It's
There's so much better weed out there, my people.
There's so many other new strains, but some people it just works.
Fair enough.
It just works for them.
And it is sativa. Now listen, I'm only joking. That's just like an inside joke for weed industry people. Blue Dream's great. Of course it is. It's like a very, especially if you're trying something new, you don't want to be fucking buzzing out the. You don't want to be a jackrabbit. I mean, sometimes you do, but you want to make sure you're on the same level. Blue Dream is a very, very safe weed. It's usually low THC. It's 18%, like sativa or whatever. It's like a classic strain that your fucking grandma smoked, I bet. So it's a good place to want to. God, I'm so raunchy. It's a good place to want to have a sexual experience when you have Blue Dream. My husband would be good for Blue Dream because he doesn't smoke weed, but it's a good way to drink wine and not get fuzzy wine life. Also, for the older gentlemen, if you're taking Viagra, you don't want to drink and take Viagra. I'm not looking at you. You don't need Viagra. Somebody of your age might, though, or my age, or somebody younger. I don't know.
Maybe try the green Viagra first.
Yes. And you can't drink, or you shouldn't drink and take Viagra. So you could smoke weed though. The green Viagra and take Viagra. There's nothing wrong with taking Viagra. I don't judge anybody. It's okay.
Yeah, it's However you get
life.
there. However you get there. Okay.
So moving right along.
Okay, something if you really want to be jackhammered.
Yeah, so if you're like,
high
man, I'm
energy.
tired, but I gotta fuck.
It's on.
You're just saying I gotta fuck. That's gonna be the name of the show.
The energy and the enthusiasm to keep up with your partner. And, you don't want to let your partner down.
No. I don't want to be made fun of in the bedroom.
And you want to put on a good show. You need that energy. And you need to be in the mood.
Wow. But I like to be a fly in the wall. On the wall, not in the wall. I'm getting embarrassed.
Get out here.
This is what I want to watch you.
Is this why we love this strain?
Boy. Green crack.
Well, yeah, the green crack is a classic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Energizer Bunny. But the Super Lemon Haze.
Oh, yeah. We do those Super Lemon Haze.
It's like, it's making its way into the strains. It's in our gummies.
Oh, yeah.
A zesty sativa.
Very zesty.
It's got all the, lemonine, those lemon terps.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Really get you going.
That's why, yeah. Oh, yeah. We do love the Super Lemon Haze. I do. Yes, I guess that's why. Makes sense. It does make sense. A hazy strain. I now that I think back to when I smoked hazy strains and I felt, feelings. I get feelings,
With the sativas.
And I'm like, why do I feel those feelings? Where do
All
they come from?
tingly.
Yeah, I have urges. I have carnal urges.
It's from the sativa.
High lights from the Cool Nerd Weed Show. Adobe Radio. Yes, Daddy.
And we're back. This was a very mature episode. It's the Cool Nerd Weed Show. That's yes.
And that's Sasha.
And this was our part 2 of Cannabis and Sex on the Cool Nerd Weed Show on Adobe Radio. Thank you, Adobe, for letting us do this week after week after week. And I feel like, got through that without too much giggling.
Without too many
I only made like a couple really
dad
mature
jokes.
I made a couple play on words before it got really raunchy. But we do have the explicit warning on our podcast, on our iTunes.
Rated R. This is a warning.
This is a warning. And I hope it was informative. I hope if you didn't know what strain to choose on your night of passion, now you know.
It was always a common question.
It is. It is a very common
as a bud
question.
Tender.
And
know.
It's always something sativa. I really did because even like another vape company released like a limited thing, and it's specified for Sexons, and it's wedding cake.
Oh yeah,
So that makes sense.
yeah.
There's a Durban in there. Isn't there?
Durban in the
fucking Durban.
in the lineage. So African sativas.
It's for real. And Durban is an
know about
old
it.
strain too. Like people in the 70s be smoking.
Yeah,
Durban.
they know about the Durban. It was like a land race.
Yes. Wow. I guess we've cracked it. It's Durban.
It's Durban is the key.
It's the key to your success.
To successful sex life.
To get on it.
If you can find some real Durban,
You will find.
please bring it to the studio.
Please bring it to hither and breeze hither to us. Yeah, we and there's no shortage of Durban in LA. So get yourself some Durbs and pull up a chair.
Pull up a sex swing. Pull up a
bar stool.
however you do sex at home.
However you do sex,
Or wherever
however you
you-
make sex, just do it.
Where or whenever.
However, with whoever. Happy Pride, by the way.
Love is love.
Love is fucking love. Wear that shit loud and proud. And the nerds support you. And we want to hear about it because we're creeps.
True story. Slide into the old DM.
Slide into the DM. Follow us on Twitter at Cool Nerd Weed and follow us on Instagram at Cool Nerd Weed Show. Stay hydrated. Stay medicated.